Hello everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video we will be discussing about some of the examples of well-defined problems or the representations of various problems in a well-defined manner. So in my previous video we have talked about how we can actually go ahead with the problem formulation and what are the primary components of it to be considered as a well-defined problem. Here we will be looking into some of the classical examples which are already there and how do we represent it in a well-defined problem format. Okay, so starting off we have to understand that there are a variety of task environments and these task environments can be pertaining to different type of problems. Okay, so the two of the most primary categories of this problem solving approach are the toy problems and the real world problems. So toy problems basically are those problems where in which the solution is basically not very much important, or solution is not very much of concern to the users. Okay, and it is intended to illustrate or exercise various problem solving methods. So it is simply like a demo kind of a thing. Okay, so it will help you to exercise the various problem solving agents, and it can give a very concise and exact description. However, if we are let's say if we want to do performance evaluation of algorithms, performance evaluation of algorithms, so we can actually go ahead with this category of problems. However, a real world problem is one in which the solutions of the problems are of much more concern to the people, and they tend not to have a single agreed upon description. We do not have very concise and precise description, but there will be certain formulations on which we draw the conclusions, and those formulations are basically of utmost concern to the people. Okay, so first let us discuss about the toy problems, and slowly we will be going ahead with various real world problems. Okay, so if we are considering the toy problem, so we have already discussed one of the problem in this category, which is known as the vacuum world. The spelling is wrong. So vacuum world, if you remember, we have discussed in the very first few sessions, very first few videos of this lecture series, and if you have any if you want to brush it up, you can just go back. However, I will also brief it in this video. So here what happens is basically there are two rooms and there is a vacuum cleaner agent. Okay, there are two rooms A and B, which is clean or dirty, and there is a vacuum cleaner agent, okay, which is supposed to suck up the dirt and verify whether the room is clean or dirty, and based on the status it will move to the right, that is it will move to room number B, and it will again go on verifying whether that room is clean or dirty, and it will suck up the dirt and verify it back and then move to left. So likewise this agent will be moving left and right in order to clean up that room. Okay, so if we are want to represent this vacuum cleaner world, okay, in a particular well defined format, so first we have to consider the various states. Okay, various states this particular vacuum cleaner agent would be in, and when we want to define it, we have to also incorporate the components which we have discussed in my previous video. Okay, so when we are talking about the states, first let me give the description about the environment in the state. Okay, so the agent, if you look into this problem, the agent has to be in one of the two locations. That means the agent can be either in A or in B, so each of which might or might not contain dirt. So there are 2 into 2 to the power 2, which is 8 possible world states. Okay, This is the initial information that this particular problem has about the world. Okay, so the agent can be in one of the two possible conditions or two possible positions, where either in A or in B, and each of these positions will have two different options, which is either clean or dirty. And similarly, position B might, or room number B might also be clean or dirty. So based on this, it will be having 2 into 2 to the power 2, which is 8 possible world states. Okay, so what would be the initial state here? Let me write down first about the components. So initial state, then we have successor function, then we have goal test, and then we have the path cost, right? So these are the 4 different components which would be used in order to define this problem as a well defined problem. Okay, so first of all, initial state, it can be any state. It can be either in A or in B. Okay, so any state can be designated as the initial state. Now what should be the successor function? So this generates the legal states that result from trying 3 actions. What would be the 3 actions? To move left, to move right, and to suck up. Okay, to move left and to move right and to suck up. So these 3 should be the possible, so these 3 would be the possible options or possible successor functions which it can do. Okay, so based on the action, so I'll just write it here as left, right, and suck. Okay, so left, right, and suck, this means that it can either move left, which is the action. If it is moving left, it will be in left. If it is moving right, it will be in right. And if it is dirty, it will suck. That is the primary this thing behind the successor function. You can go on representing this in a more specified manner. That means if you want to use the ordered pair, you can also go ahead with using of the ordered pair, and that could be represented in something like, if the room is clean, okay, clean, let's say clean, then not clean, suppose what should be the action here? The ordered pair should be the action, right? So if I'm considering the action, so if it is go left, it will be in left. Okay, so again, if it is go right, then it will be in right. Then if it is do clean up, then it will be suck up and stay in the same position. Okay, so that way you can also represent it in this ordered pair that we have discussed in my previous video. Okay, so you can go ahead with the representation of an ordered pair, or if you want to keep it the successor function, that means what should be the successors of the initial state, then you can also consider these 3 successors. Okay, that means from any state, whether this particular state is in A and in rest, okay, it can perform this 3 actions, which is left, right, and go to left, right, or suck up. Or if the agent is in A and doing cleaning, then also it can go left, right, or suck up. Okay, so that is up to you how you represent. Now what should be the goal test? It will check if all the squares are clean. So clean squares would be what is the goal test. Okay, then we will talk about path cost. So since we are not incorporating or associating any step cost, so we can consider that every step the vacuum cleaner agent will take, it will basically consist of step cost as 1. Okay, so this is your step cost, and this you can represent in a way where A to B, okay, so this you can have a cost which is 1, okay. So A, in order to move from A to B, you do it, what you do is you are having a cost of 1, okay. So this is how you can represent it. All right, now talking about one more example. So I believe this example is clear. So if we are considering this toy problems, you have to understand that we are simply using this to illustrate the problem solving approach, and we do not have to bother about much about the outcome of it, because what matters really in toy problems is basically it is done in order to compare the performance of different algorithms instead of actually making any difference major or making any major influence to the people, okay, or any what do you call that, it will not create any impact to the people, right? Now if we are considering a larger environment with n locations, okay, so next we will talk about a larger environment which is the 8 puzzle problem, okay. So this is also a very classical problem in AI. So 8 puzzle problem. So when we are talking about 8 puzzle problem, so this has a larger environment, okay. So let's say if it has n locations, it generally has 2 to the power n states, okay, 2 to the power n states. So 8 puzzle is an instance of which we will have around 3 cross 3 board, okay. So there is a 3 cross 3 board with 8 numbered tiles and a blank space. So if I am considering this 8 puzzle problem, so this has a larger environment, okay. Initially we worked with just two types of environment. So here we have a 3 cross 3 board. So this is like a 3 cross 3 board, and there are 8 blocks here, okay. So in this 8 blocks we have different numbers associated, and there will be a blank tile, okay. So let us consider this scenario: 7 2 4 6 1 3 8 5, and there is a blank tile or a blank block in between, okay. Now this tile on the left or on the right can slide into the space. If 4 wants to come here, you can also shift it, not 4. If 6 wants to come here, you can shift it here. If 3 wants to come here, it can be shifted here. If 5 wants to come here, it can be shifted here. If 2 wants to come here, it can be shifted here, okay. So but 4 cannot come here, okay, because diagonal movement is not allowed. However, from the sides you can make it move to the center. It is up to you, okay. And the object is to reach a specified goal state such as all of them lie in a very synchronized manner. So this is probably my start state, okay, start state, and the primary goal state would be to reach a situation of this particular environment in which it is represented like this, okay. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8, right? So it has to be represented in a very synchronized manner. So this is your goal state. Now I'm sure this 8 puzzle problem, the entire problem is understood. So I have a representation something like this, and in between this block is empty, and I can make the other numbers move the way it is there. We have already played this game in our childhood. So I can shift the tiles from left and right and top and bottom and use it in such a way that it represents this goal state. That means the numbers are arranged in a very synchronized manner, okay. Now let us represent this in a well-defined problem format. So when I'm considering a well-defined problem format, so let us first represent the states. Okay, so states, basically it is a state description which will be specifying the location of each of the 8 tiles. Okay, and a blank in one of the 9 squares. So we can simply write that different 8 slides, different 8 slides, different 8 slides, and one blank space in between. So this is this state basically, please do not get confused at what we are supposed to write in the states. So states can be any state representation or any information about the world or the environment that currently that particular problem is in. So in here I can represent it in this way, that different 8 slides and one blank slide in between, okay. And then I have, so this is different 8 slides and one blank slide in between. So altogether there are 9 blocks. So you can also mention that altogether there are 9 slides and one slide is blank, whereas the other 8 slides, they are filled with numbers. Okay, and then I will have the initial state. I'll have the initial state, and then I will have the successor function. Then we will have the goal test, and then we will have the path cost. So these are the 4 different components that we have to mention. So initial state, again, it can be any state. In my representation we have considered this state. Okay, you can also consider that maybe you can reverse the numbers here. So if I'm considering here as 4 6 4 7 2, sorry, 6 is already here, 4 7 2. So you can also keep it this way. So it can be any initial state, can be any state. Okay, but we have to note that any given goal can be reached from exactly half of the possible initial states. Okay, so it can be any states. And the second one is the successor function. So successor function can have that means you can consider the blank space in between. Okay, in this blank space in between, so this blank space can move either left, right, up or down. Okay, so you can consider this as blank space moves left, right, up or down. Okay, so these are the possible successor functions here. Okay, and the goal test would be to check whether the state matches the goal configuration. So let's say in figure B, this was my figure B. So goal test would be whether B representation is achieved. Okay, and path cost, since we do not have any path cost, so we will be associating cost is equal to 1 for each step cost. So if you want to represent this in something like this, so let's say I'll have this position 1 and I'll associate 1, and then we will go to position 2. Okay, so this is how we can actually represent. All of these factors need to be explicitly represented, not in terms of pseudocodes or not in terms of ordered pair always, but we can always choose a representation or at least give some sort of information to the specified, to match the specified components of a particular problem. Okay, likewise there are other toy problems associated with this, and in our next session we will be talking about real world problems, but before that, if we have to remember that if we need to represent any problem, whether it may be a real time problem, real world problem, or maybe a toy problem or a gaming based problem, we have to always find out what these components are, and after that only we can go ahead with any type of searches, any type of solutions which will be helping us to map from the initial state to the goal state. Okay, so this is all for this session. We will talk about further about this formulation of problem in my next video. Thank you.